Today we will study homomorphism. Homomorphism comes from the Greek word like, homo and morphe. Homo means like and morphe means form. So we will see that a homomorphism is a natural generalization of an isomorphism, and there is an intimate connection between factor group of a group and a homomorphism of a group. So first of all, group homomorphism. A homomorphism F from a group G to a group G is a mapping from G into G that preserves the group operation. That is, F of AB is equal to F of A into F of B for all AB in G. It preserves group operation means if operation is multiplication, then F of A dot B is equal to F of A dot FB. If the operation is addition, then F of A plus B is equal to F of A plus F of B. So homomorphism preserves the group operation. Before giving examples and stating properties of a homomorphism, it is convenient to introduce an important subgroup that is intimately related to the image of a homomorphism, and this is nothing but kernel of a homomorphism. So the kernel of a homomorphism F from a group G to a group G with identity E is the set X belonging to G such that Fx equal to E. Means it is a set of all those elements of G whose image under F is E, the identity element of a group. The kernel of F is denoted by kernel F. Some examples. The mapping F from R star to R star defined by Fx equal to mod x is a homomorphism with kernel F equal to 1 minus 1. 1 and minus 1 are the elements of the kernel F. Let Rx denote the group of all polynomials with real coefficients under addition. Let F dash denote the derivative of F in Rx. Then the mapping from F to F dash is a homomorphism from Rx to itself. The kernel of the derivative mapping is the set of all constant polynomials. Its kernel is the set of all constant polynomials. And the mapping F defined from Z to Zn, which is defined by Fm equal to M mod n, is a homomorphism and its kernel is n. The mapping Fx equal to x square from R star, the non-zero real numbers under multiplication to itself, is a homomorphism. Because here Fx is defined to be x square, so therefore F of AB is equal to AB square, and AB square is nothing but A square into B square, and A square is F of A, by definition Fx equal to x square, and B square is F of B for all AB in R star. And the kernel of this homomorphism is 1 into 1 and minus 1. Set consisting of elements 1 and minus 1, because 1 square is 1, minus 1 square is also 1. Here we have considered the set of non-zero real numbers, because if we include R also, if we consider the set of real number, then that is not a group under the operation of multiplication. So we have excluded 0 from the set. So R star means it is a set of real number in which 0 does not exist. It is a non-zero real number. The mapping Fx equal to x square from R, the set of real numbers under addition to itself, is not a homomorphism. Because F of A plus B is A plus B whole square, and A plus B whole square is A square plus 2AB plus B square. But F of A is equal to A square, F of B is equal to B square, so F of A plus F of B is A square plus B square. So A square plus 2AB plus B square is not equal to A square plus B square, and hence F of A plus B is not equal to FA plus FB. So while defining a homomorphism from a group in which there are several ways to represent the element, caution must be exercised to ensure that correspondence is a function. It is a necessary requirement that the correspondence should be a function. The term well defined is often used in this context, means operations should be well defined. For example, since 3x plus y is equal to 3x plus 3y in Z6. Z6 means set consisting of element 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. One might believe that the corresponding x plus 3 to 3x from Z by 3 to Z6 is a homomorphism. But it is not a homomorphism because it is not a function. Because x plus 3 is the element of Z by 3. Z by 3 is nothing but it is a quotient group consisting of set of all the cosets. So 0 plus 3 in Z by 3 is equal to 3 plus 3. But in Z6, 3 into 0 is not equal to 3 into 3. So x plus 3 to 3x from Z by 3 to Z6 is not a homomorphism, while some may believe that it is a homomorphism. Z by 3 is the set of all the cosets and Z6 is the set consisting of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now properties of a homomorphism. Let F be a homomorphism from a group G to a group G dash and let G be an element of G. Then first property is that F carries the identity of G to the identity of G dash. So homomorphism carries identity of a group G into a identity of G dash. Secondly, if G belongs to G, then F of G raised per n is equal to F of G raised per n for all n in Z. Third property is if order of G is finite, then order of Fg divides order of G. Kernel of F is a subgroup of G. Fifth is F of B equal to F of A equal to F of B if and only if A kernel F is equal to B kernel F. Sixth property is F of G is equal to F of G dash. F of G equal to G dash, then F inverse G dash is equal to X belonging to G such that Fx is equal to G dash and this is equal to G kernel F. Means F inverse G dash is equal to G kernel F. So we will prove these properties one by one. First property is F carries the identity element of G to G dash. Let us denote the identity element in G by E and the identity element in G dash by E dash. Then since E is equal to EE, we may write F of E equal to F of E in E. But F is a homomorphism and it preserves group structure. Therefore, F of EE is equal to FE, FE. Also because FE belongs to G dash, therefore F of E is equal to E dash. So we may write F of E equal to E dash into FE. Here FE is equal to FE into FE. Here FE is equal to E dash FE. So FE into FE is equal to E dash FE, and by cancellation law, in fact by right cancellation law, FE is equal to E dash. This preserves the first property which states that homomorphism carries identity element of G to identity element of G dash. Now the second property is that F of Gn is equal to F of Gn for all n in G. For positive integers, property 2 follows from the definition of a homomorphism and mathematical induction. It is easy to prove. If n is negative, then minus n is positive. So from property E1, we know that E dash is equal to f of E. Here it is E dash. Because f carries identity element of G to identity element of G dash. So E can be written as G raised per n into G raised per minus n. And because f is a homomorphism, f of Gn, G minus n can be written as f of Gn into f of G minus n. And this is equal to f of Gn into f of G raised per minus n, because we have proved the case for the positive integers. So because it is true for the positive integer and minus n is for the positive integer, so we can write it as f of G minus n. If we multiply both sides by f of Gn, so on the left side we have E into fgn, which is equal to f of fgn. And on the right side, if we multiply by fgn, so fg minus n into fgn is nothing but the identity element. And this is fgn into identity element is equal to f of gn. So we are left with fgn into fgn. So for positive integer we have proved, for negative integers we have proved. For n equal to 0, it reduces to fg raised per 0 means 1. F of g raised per 0 means 1. F of 1 means it reduces to f1 equal to 1. It holds as f carries the identity element of G to G dash by property 1. Now the next is, third property is, if G is finite, then f of G divides, order of fg divides order of G. Order of G is given to be finite. Let order of G is equal to n. So G of n is equal to G raised per n is equal to E, because if the order of G is n, then n is the least positive integer such that G raised per n is equal to E by definition of order of an element. So this implies E dash is equal to f of E, because we have proved in property 1 that f carries the identity element of G to G dash. But E is nothing but G raised per n. So f of Gn. And this is equal to f of fgn. In property 2, we have proved that f of G raised per n is equal to f of G raised per n for all integers. So it means f of G, order of fg divides n. So next property is, kernel of f is a subgroup of G. So to prove kernel of f is a subgroup of G, we assume that A and B are any two elements of kernel of f. So to prove it to be a subgroup, it is sufficient to show that AB inverse belongs to kernel of f by properties of subgroup. Since f of A is equal to E and f of B equal to E, we have f of AB inverse is equal to f of A into f of B inverse. This is by homomorphism, because homomorphism proves group operation, preserves group operation. So f of A is equal f of A into f of B inverse. So this is f of A, f of B inverse means f of B inverse, because f of G raised per n is equal to f of G raised per n for all n in Z. F of A is E, f of B is also E. So E into E inverse, and this is equal to E. It means AB inverse belongs to kernel of F, because f of AB inverse is equal to the identity element. So AB inverse belongs to kernel of F. It means kernel of F is a subgroup of G. Now the next property is if FA equal to FG, FB, if and only if A kernel F is equal to B kernel F. Let FA is equal to FB. It means if we multiply both sides by FB inverse, we get FB inverse into FA is equal to FB inverse into FB. It means FB inverse into FA is equal to E because F of Gn equal to F of Gn. Here FB into FB inverse is the identity element. We have multiplied by FB inverse. So on the right hand side FB into FB inverse is identity element and F of B inverse is F of B inverse by this property. F of Gn equal to Fgn for all integers. It means F of B inverse A is equal to E. Because F is a homomorphism, it preserves group operation. And this implies B inverse A belongs to kernel of F because F of B inverse A equal to identity element and B inverse is the element, B inverse A is the element of a group G. So B inverse A belongs to kernel of F. And this implies B kernel F is equal to A kernel F because we have studied in the properties of a coset that in previous lecture that AH is equal to BH if and only if A inverse belongs to H. So if A inverse belongs to H, then AH is equal to BH. Means B kernel F is equal to A kernel F. Here B inverse A belongs to kernel of F. Now converse, let B kernel F is equal to A kernel F. It implies B inverse A belongs to kernel of F by property of a coset. This we have studied in previous lecture. So it means because B inverse A is the element of kernel of F, F into B inverse A is equal to E, the identity element by definition of kernel. So this implies FB inverse into FA is equal to E. Because F is a homomorphism, it preserves group operation. So FB inverse FA is equal to E because F of Gn equal to F of Fg of n for all n in Z. If we pre-multiply both sides by F of B, then on the right hand side FB into FB inverse into FA, on the right hand side FB into E. On the left hand side FB into FB inverse is E, so E into FA is FA. On the left hand side, on the right hand side E into FB is FB, so this is FB. So if B kernel F is equal to A kernel F, then FA is equal to FB. Now the last property is if Fg is equal to G dash, then F inverse G dash is equal to X belonging to G such that Fx equal to G dash is equal to G kernel F. So we are given that Fg equal to G dash and we need to prove that F inverse G dash is equal to G kernel F, where F inverse G is defined like the set of all the element X belonging to G for which Fx is equal to G dash. So to prove this property, we must show that F inverse G dash is a subset of G kernel F and G kernel F is a subset of F inverse G. So for the first inclusion, F inverse G dash is a subset of G kernel F. Let X belongs to F inverse G dash. Now we will show that X belongs to G kernel F. Because X belongs to F inverse G dash, therefore by definition Fx equal to G dash because F inverse G is defined to be the set of all the element X belonging to G for which Fx is equal to G dash. So this is Fx is equal to G dash. But G dash is equal to F of G because G is the element of a group G, and G dash is the element of group G dash, and F takes G to G dash. So we have proved that in previous property that FA is equal to FB if and only if A kernel F is equal to B kernel F. So because Fx is equal to Fg, therefore G kernel F is equal to X kernel F. It means X belongs to G kernel F, and X was the element of F inverse G, and we have shown that X belongs to G kernel F. It means F inverse G dash is a subset of G kernel F. Now we will show that G kernel F is a subset of F inverse G dash. Suppose that K belongs to kernel F. Then F of Gk is equal to Fg into Fk, because F is a homomorphism. It preserves group operation. But K belongs to kernel F. It means F of K is equal to E. So it is G dash into E, because Fg is equal to G dash and F of K is equal to E. So G dash into E is G dash. Thus, by given definition, Gk belongs to F inverse G dash, because F inverse G dash is set of all the elements x belonging to G such that Fx is equal to G dash. Here Gk is equal to G dash, therefore Gk belongs to F inverse G dash. So G kernel F is a subset of F inverse G dash. The concept of group homomorphism was introduced by Camille Jordan in 1870 in his influential book Treatise de Substitutions. All modern theories of nuclear electromagnetic interactions are based on group theory. Thank you.